everybody, Debbie here. I'm so excited for this episode to drop this week. We are talking to Dawn Santoriello. She is a certified financial planner, and her goal is to help men and women retire with zero or close to zero tax implication. And she's got such a fascinating story and where she came from and how she shifted and moved into this. So you're going to love this episode and you're going to want to get in touch with her. So I hope you spend some time here, whether you're on a walk or having a cup of coffee, and enjoy this episode. Talk to you soon. Welcome to Lead Your Life, the podcast for people who are seeking harmony in business and in life. My name is Debbie Heiser, and I'm an inner mastery and business mindset coach and the chief igniter here at The Lit Up Life. I feel an urgency to help people let go of past messaging so that they can make a lot of money doing what they love without sacrificing what they value most. Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Straight from the corners of my mind is where I find my sanity.
Hello, and welcome back to this episode of Lead Your Life with Debbie Heiser. I am Debbie Heiser. I help entrepreneurs make a lot of money doing what they love to do without sacrificing what's important to them. And I know I say this a lot, that I'm excited to have a guest on, but I'm really excited to have Dawn on because when you hear what she has to say, I think you're just going to be blown away and you're going to want to call her. I've already talked to numerous people about her and that I'm getting ready to interview her for this podcast, and they're going to have to listen and spark some interest. So we met through a international women's networking event that they do have local chapters that they do things, but for people like me in North Idaho that don't have a local chapter, we have virtual, and we get together every week. And that's where I met Dawn. We had a coffee chat and I'm like, I have to have you on my podcast. You're so interesting about what you do. For those of you on the video, you can see that she has a book called Manifest and Invest, Live Your Best Life, Get Your Money Right. And we're going to talk about that today. For those of you just listening, you can find it on Amazon, all of the different places. But Dawn is a financial planner, but in a little different, it was a different twist. So Dawn, I'm going to have you introduce yourself and then tell us a little bit about what got you into what you're doing.
Okay, sure. Well, thank you, Debbie. I'm excited to be here and all of Debbie's followers. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all. Well, I'm a certified financial planner. This is actually my 20th year in the business. I'm a member of Ed Slott's Elite IRA Advisory Group. So he's the expert on all things retirement. He's been featured, he has tons of books. He's been featured in the Wall Street Journal. I'm also a part of David McKnight's group, which basically we show people how to retire in the 0% tax bracket or to be as tax efficient as possible. So I love that. I've written 2 books on my 3rd book that I'm writing now. And also, what else about me? I live in the Philadelphia area and I serve clients across the country. I love to travel. I love to write music. Just loving life and living the dream.
Nice. So you're a musician too. That's interesting.
Well,
I
a
didn't know that.
lyricist. I wouldn't, yeah, I
Okay.
could write really good lyrics. Me and
Okay.
Taylor Swift could be soul sisters.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. So Dawn, tell us a little bit about what did you do before you became a financial planner?
Oh,
Or what
sure.
got you into this?
Well, I grew up in New York, so my dream was to always be an actress and a model. But only as 5'6", that really wasn't going to work out for the modeling part, and that bad Long Island accent did not help my acting career. So that wasn't going to work. So I always went to school for finance because finance was easy, and so then I transitioned into that, and I really never looked back. I love this job. It sucks in the beginning. It is so hard. I mean, I cried. I had to do horrible jobs I didn't want to do. I had to bartend. I did manual labor. I did whatever it took. It was like scratching and clawing my way to just survive. And then finally, when the pandemic hit, though everything changed. My whole life exploded and business got better and better each and every year. I keep doing better and better. So
What
uh,
would you say was the switch for you? Like, I know if you're like me, everything's kind of like pre-COVID and post-COVID now. Like, that's a marker of time for us. But like, what do you think happened that made business just kind of start to boom?
Well, I always operated in a scarcity mentality based on
Mhm.
my background. I've not to make myself a victim. I'm not a victim. I grew up in and out of foster homes and always had to prove my worth, prove myself, be the
Mhm.
smartest kid. So that did, but what really did I lost that scarcity mindset. Yeah, because of COVID. I was like, well, if I have no money, nobody else does. So I guess we're in this together.
Yeah.
And then I'm Fem City. I actually started speaking through the different groups. I've got clients all across the country from that. They're great, and yeah, it's funny how like I love my local chapter too, but I get more support from the global women and just from the
Yeah.
virtual stuff. So I think that was a change in my mindset, like getting out of that scarcity, like always constantly worried about running out of money. I could talk about it in my book too. And there was a point when I had like no money to my name. I was locked in a parking garage and I couldn't get out. And
Oh
then
God.
cars were piling up behind me, and I'm like, oh my God, mortifying. And I went home and I sat on my porch and I freaking cried it out because I was like, what is going on? I'm smart. I know what I'm doing. Like, this shouldn't be happening to me. But it was me. I was stuck. I had all these blocks. Like, I wasn't unworthy. I'm not good enough. Or like, just all that junk I had to get out. And then COVID hits. It's like, boom, okay. Well, it just gave me the confidence. I was like, well, if we're all in this together, we all have nothing, then let's just go for it. And then also meeting great mentors like David McKnight changed my life. That program literally, like, yeah, that was a great. And actually, it was kind of interesting. It was before him. Someone introduced me to him. It was this guy out in Bucks County where I used to live. He said, "Oh, I love that you're a part of Ed Slott's group, and I want to show you this other thing." And then we started working together. He fired me after a couple months because he didn't think I was good enough. Again, see, there's these themes in my life. You're not good enough. But little did I show him. Last year, I became silver level, and I'm just killing it. I'm in the top 20 of the group. So I was like, yeah, when someone tells me I'm not good enough, watch out because I'm coming to kick ass. So
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And
nobody
I
puts
talk a
baby in
lot
the
about
corner.
I talk a lot about the committee in our head, right? And the
Yeah.
adolescent serves us well because we're like, watch me, I'm going to go be successful. It builds that resilience. And
Yeah.
so, Don, you talk about Ed Slott, and that's what my question was going to be to you too is, did you just have like a light switch go off for you, or was there someone else? You talked about some mentors. Did it
Yeah.
like, because what I found is usually if we're in this loop of the mind,
Mhm.
we can change it ourselves, but there's usually something like an Ed Slot program that you went through, something that does a switch for us that allows us, like I'll even take my glasses off and put them back on as a physical reminder of changing perspective. And so tell me a little bit about how that happened for you. Like you're on your porch, you're crying,
Mhm.
you're just fed up, you're just like, I only have one way and that's up.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
what happened from there?
Well, it was, let's see, that was 2013. So it was like 7 years. But when did I join Ed's group? It must be like 3 years ago now. So actually, no, it's like 20, what are we in, 2025? So 2022.
Yeah,
Because my biggest problem in this job is prospecting, is having clients to talk to.
right.
So once I went to Ed's group, I'm like, oh, I'm better than half the, not, no, that's not the right word. I have access to more resources to actually help my clients than other advisors do because we have his staff. We could call him up, call him with a client because there's so many things that can go wrong with IRAs and
Yeah,
retirements. So I have them at myself. So the confidence is like, okay, I have a team behind me. If I don't know the answers, I have the team that does, and I'm going to help my clients. Just this year, I helped a client. They didn't take their RMDs from an inherited IRA. They're like, no one told me. I'm like, what? Since 2018? I'm like, we got to go do something. And just
yeah.
all these, so it gave me the confidence. It's like, okay, I have a team behind me. And then David McKnight gave me the platform because we teach classes at universities and I could do
Mhm.
online webinars. And that just brings the people in, and people are looking for tax planning. They're like, nobody talks about this. They're like, give me all your money and do this. Where it's like, okay, we're coming up with a strategy. This is how we're going to reduce your taxes in retirement. These are the tools and the products we're going to use. And yeah, so it's been a whole, would say that's the pivotal moment because I've done other programs and there's great people out there, but some of the programs it wasn't for me. I was like telling people I'm a golf swing coach. Like, that's not me. I don't even like to golf. So
Yeah,
I was trying to be other people. And then, oh, you know what it was too? It started with COVID. I found my voice. I said, you know what? This is me. I came from the, oh, okay, I'm just going to say it. I'm not politically correct. I came from the white ghetto. Okay.
yeah,
Like, I had a black hole in my tooth. We were so poor. Like, literally. Like, so I was like, I'm never going to be poor again. I'm like, this sucks. There's got to be a better way. And I was like, I want to be successful. And I'm like, I want other people to be successful because, yeah, we're all dealing with stuff. We all have stories. And it's like, we all can do it. Like I did. I didn't know anybody. I moved to areas I had no clue, didn't know anybody. But the only thing I had is never give up. Failure is not an option. Like you're just going to do whatever it takes. And oh, sorry, I'm getting so
No, I'm so glad, Dawn, because
yeah.
like I talk about this a lot in the fact that you have to desire it and have a strong desire and believe it's going to happen, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes that belief comes in a back engineered way of I don't have any other way to do this. This is not an
Yeah.
option, right? Like,
Yep.
and once you go there, it's like it opens up. Now, part of it's opening up to receiving too, right?
Yes.
I hear you saying you're still working on that. We
Yeah.
all do, right? Because it's layers. There's no heart of an onion. Whoever said
Yeah.
that, get to the heart of the onion, they're full of bullshit
Yeah.
because there is no heart of the onion. It's just
Yeah.
layers. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I want to talk then about too, you mentioned FemCity, great organization. I'm happy to be a part of that too. But as you've started to work with clients, what kind of tools, like if you were talking to my listeners to say, okay, you want to talk to me more about it individually, here's where you're going to go. We're going to get into some of that when we get back from the break.
Okay.
We'll be right back. I want to give a quick shout out to my favorite online community for women entrepreneurs. It's called Build Her. If you've craved a space to connect with other women who truly get the journey, this is your space. We go live monthly for in-depth training on all things business, and it's where you'll get the latest news from the Lit Up Life first. Plus a chance to swap stories, tips, and triumphs with an amazing community of women. It's welcoming, it's fun, and it's where we cheer each other on through every up and down of entrepreneurship. Join us and let's build each other up. Check it out at thelituplife.com/buildher. Okay, we are back. And Dawn was talking about this idea of she was at this place where she just, it almost sounds like to me, right? Like you're in this hole and all you're doing is looking up saying, there's nowhere else to go. And it's not an option. I'm not willing to live the same way I did when I was growing up, right? When it comes to finances and having financial freedom. And really, what I'm hearing you say too about retiring with zero tax or the lowest tax possible is you want people to have that freedom to be able to live the life that they want to live and not worry about it all going away to taxes.
Yeah.
So, and ultimately, whether it's tax or not, right? Like being able to live that life. So tell me, like, how does someone get in touch with you to work with you?
Sure. You could find me on my website at dsfinancialstrategies.com. You could email me, Dawn at dsfinancialstrategies.com. You could find me on social media. Yeah, I'm very easy to find.
Okay, perfect. And we'll put your website and your email in our show notes. So you can go look at those to find that contact information. And so take us through like, what's a typical process that you use with people? Because what I find is a lot of times, I talk about money with my clients because I'm like, you like when we look at goals, like what is the bare necessity that you need? Because a lot of times you need a lot less than what you think you do. And that gives people some breathing room when they're looking
Yeah.
at expanding their business. And then we look at where do you want it? And we talk about that. But people, particularly women, are really nervous about talking about money and kind of what they want. So tell me that process. Someone that's a little nervous, they want to invest, they want to get into this, they want to retire in that bracket. Take us through your process.
Sure. Well, one thing is they could always read my book, so I always share that with people. It takes you from the person who has nothing to someone who super wealthy, what they could do.
And is
Um,
that your first book or
I know
this?
that's this one.
This one?
Well, the first one
Okay.
too, but I don't really like the first one. Like
Okay.
this Manifest and Invest is basically a revamped of that and has extras in it.
Okay.
And then with clients who want to do financial planning, I have them read David McKnight's The Power of Zero book. So then I meet with them, and there is a lot of shift. We got to clear money blocks. People have things. If I say life insurance, people run for the doors. Annuities, oh, I hate those. And I love this. They ask me like, oh, you hate annuities? Why? Like, then do you know what an annuity is? Social Security's an annuity. Your pension's an annuity. Why don't you give that up if you hate it so much? So people
Right.
hate things that they don't even know why they hate it. The super wealthy have life insurance. People use life insurance. It's just that everything gets a bad rap. People are like, oh, the stock market's terrible. It's gonna crash, and that's like they have all these ideas and thoughts in their head. So we got to like clear those out. So I tell people, hey, you're gonna hear stuff that you probably never heard before, and you got to be open to receive it. Otherwise, it's not gonna, you're not gonna, you're hurting yourself. So I'll sit.
Let's talk about that for a second because That's one of the things I love to discuss. And on my sales workshop that I provide, we go into a lot of what are these money stories. And, if anybody grew up in the US and their parents or particularly their grandparents grew up in the US, we all come from scarcity because
Yep.
everybody went through the Great
Great
Depression or the
Depression.
Dust Bowl in the kind of Midwest of the country. If our relatives grew up in Europe, right? They usually have scarcity because World War II and
Mhm.
the effect that that had on the mindset of money. And so we're fighting generations. And
Mhm.
I hesitate using the word fight, but that's what it feels like,
Yeah.
right? Like because you're unwinding this stuff. And it's funny, a lot of times I'll say to people, and I get that it's special paper and all that, but I'm like, how many of us have heard money doesn't grow on trees?
Yep.
Everybody's raising their hand. Yeah, I heard that. And I'm like, well, it's paper, right? So it is a tree. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, and I get the saying about it, but I'm so glad to hear you say that because so many times I talk to financial planners and they're all about the plan. They're all
Yeah.
about where should you invest and what's the structure, the masculine energy
Mhm.
versus we can put that together, but half the time they're not going to convert into a client because they're
Yeah.
afraid of it, and you have to unlock those. What would you say are two of the biggest money, like the hating the annuities, but what are the two biggest messages that you run into that are untruths for people?
Let's see, the two biggest untruths to people. Let's see, there's a lot. They think if they get 10% return, oh, I'm gonna be fine. Like I literally had one client come to me. They retired at like 54. And I said, you guys aren't gonna like this. You have to go back to work. You don't have enough money. They're like, well, you ran the plan at 6%. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like a conservative. I'm like, no, we could get 10%. We've been getting 10%. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you know what? I really can't help you guys. I'm like, this is what it is. I'm like, Bernie Madoff was promising 10%. Where are those people? You're not going to get that. And I was like, so yeah, people have stuck. They cling on to it because they're like, oh, because it's like, well, I did this. I'm retired. I don't want to go back to work. This is my decision because it makes him. And he was a finance guy too. He did random finance
Yeah,
division of something. And I was like, okay. So he didn't want to hear that he can't get 10% every year. I was
yeah,
like, okay. I'm like, you guys are great, but I'm not the right advisor for you. So people get stuck on these things that just aren't untrue. They're untrue. So that's one of their blocks that they have. And yeah, thinking that, well, I don't run into that this often, but oh, the taxes are gonna not go up. But you do get some people that are like, oh, well, no, they're gonna be fine, and like we're not gonna have to worry. And I'm like, taxes have got to go up. They just extended them now, but yeah, that's good. You have time to start doing this tax-free planning now.
right.
But if you're come when that comes done, you're screwed because
Yeah,
taxes, boom, they've got to go up. They should be going up now. They should have been gone up 10 years ago.
yeah.
And we just keep kicking the can down the road. And 2040 is the date of reckoning, according to that Penn Wharton study. It says no amount of tax increases or tax decreases is going to change anything. So that's the biggest block to, oh no, it's not going to happen. Just yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine when we get
Their
there.
head stand. Yeah. Yeah. And I find a lot of people do that as far as like thinking out and ahead of what they're doing. So you walk through, you help them, you uncover what some of their mindsets are around finances and money and investing. And so then what takes place after that? Like what are
Oh,
some of the
so it's
products that you
okay. Yeah.
provide?
So like first I talk it, we kind of feel out where they are, and I'll give them a risk tolerance test like every other advisor does, just to find out how they feel, and then I'll compare it to their actual portfolio and see if it's in alignment. And usually I found out, especially now, because the S&P 500, oh, it's always doing good. That's all they're in. Some people had 50% of their portfolio in like 10 stocks. I was like, this is a problem, people. We
Uh,
need to fully diversify. So I do that, and then I take them, gather all their information, and then I put together a before and after comparison for them, showing, hey, before you met me in your current tax bracket, this is how long your money's going to last. If tax rates double, this is how quickly your money will run out. But if we follow my tax roadmap, you'll become efficient. And besides handling tax rate risk, we're going to handle longevity risk, um, outliving your money,
yeah.
healthcare risk, market volatility, inflation. We're going to handle all of that, leaving a
There's a lot
legacy.
of things to think about.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I put together a whole comprehensive plan. So sometimes people, they're not ready to, I try to break it down to
Yeah.
them in just little small steps, but some of them are like, holy shoot, this is just too much. This is a whole, but it's like, you need to do all these things. Like,
Yeah.
and I should also show them, hey, this is how much we should convert. And they have to talk with their CPA just to, because I want to keep them in a certain tax bracket, depending on where they're at. And so yeah, it's a lot of work, a lot of full comprehend. And I like to be their person. I send out tons of emails. I call them the people twice a year who I'm managing, if I manage their assets. And I like to be their everything. And I know some people are like, oh no, I just want to manage my money on my own. Like, it's like, okay, so I'll help you. But ideally, I like to have all their money, handle like if we need insurances or annuities.
Right.
And yeah, and because I
So
don't
kind
trust
of
other
full
people.
service.
Yeah. And I don't
Yeah.
trust other people because there's so many products and you could for how we use these products, you have to have certain companies and certain features. Otherwise, you could run into trouble down the road. So, and since I'm specifically trained for that, I know what to do to help them get to where they need to be. So,
Yeah.
and I do everything that I'm telling my people. I'm too
Yeah.
young for an annuity yet. Almost there. I'm 47, so I usually do that for 50 and above. But
Yeah. Yeah. So you practice what you preach.
yes.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your second book, this Manifest and Invest, and then I want to hear a little bit about a sneak peek about your third book. So tell us
Oh,
about the
sure.
second book. If somebody purchases it and they start to dig into it, like tell us, I mean, it's probably about a lot of what we just talked about, but like, what do you, yeah, just tell us what
Okay,
you
sure. Well, the
come
first
from.
half of the book, about I think it's 50 pages, is all about like my backstory, how to find your money story, how to rewrite your money story,
Yeah.
figure out which money blocks you have, how to clear them. I have this awesome manifestation prayer that I use in there. I have testimonials from people who I've done the prayer with and all the good things they generated. Then I break down the money. Okay, here's how to get out of debt. Here's how to actually invest your money. I believe in evidence-based investing, so I don't pick individual stocks, don't try to time the market. We it's all in there how to actually invest. It's so boring, but it works. So if people want complicated advisors like, oh, I'm getting my fee, so I got to do this, do that. No,
Right.
like, yeah, know your worth.
Well, it goes down to basics, right? Like
Yeah,
I've always said too, when you think about even coaching any kind of team, if a team doesn't understand the foundational basics of what they're doing, they're not going to be successful. And so what it sounds like to me is like you're providing this foundation and everywhere it talks about keeping things simple. It's
yeah,
right in front of us, right? And
yeah.
I've been reading this Letting Go by David Hawkins, and that's what he talks about. He goes, it's all out there and it can be manifested. We just make it too difficult,
Oh, yeah, that's
too
for sure.
complicated.
Letting
Yeah.
go. I have that issue in my personal life. Holy cow. I got to apply my business principles to my personal life. And then
There's
I
truth
talk
to that.
about how to use life insurance. Actually, it doesn't go into because after I got into this other group, so like life insurance is a little bit different. I think I touch on annuities, but
Mhm.
yeah, I touch on what to do and what not to do with your money. And so I'm happy about that book. It really helped people. It actually, oh, it was really cool. I forgot about this. It was named Best Financial Book of 2024 by Best Holistic Life magazine last year. So that was
Fantastic.
pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And
Yeah.
Ed Slott wrote a little testimonial on the back of my book. So that was pretty nice.
Oh, that's
Um,
fantastic.
yeah.
That's
And you can buy the
awesome.
book on Amazon. And I guess, yeah. So that's probably the easiest place to find it. Uh,
Yeah, perfect.
but
So tell us a little bit about the third book.
Sure, it has nothing to do with finances. It has to do, it's like an autobiography. And I'm actually probably gonna have a ghostwriter write it. I'm looking for a ghostwriter. So if anybody knows someone, because I'm too attached to it, like I can't like bring it to life because sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, like the crazy things I've been through. People are like, how the hell are you where you are? Like you should be dead. You should be a crack whore. Like I don't know how you survive that. And I talk about shameful things that happened to me, abuse, sexual abuse,
Yeah.
um, physical abuse, things I did to survive, and through manipulation that I was like kind of, well, not forced to do, but brainwashed into doing, oh, you should do this. Where people right now be like, that girl's a freaking, that, oh my God, how dare, like, look at her. She's hard. Like, how would she do that? Like, she must be like, ooh. Like, so it's really, so I'm going to share something that people are going to be like, holy shoot, Dawn did that. And
Yeah.
people today are like, oh, that's nothing compared to what people are doing these days. But, and I actually talk about it. I have great stories where it's like, so I don't want people to be ashamed of things because there's fun. It's a
Right.
funny story. So one person, mom, it was about like this mom that came to visit me and wanted me to take her son to a prom because there was no nice girls. So I was like, this is fucking, what world are we living in? This is crazy. And then I'll probably talk about all the relationships I went through, the struggle with my business, how like I just never gave up and I made it. And the only part is, and I guess I'll share what I learned from things. And it's like, I'm still right there in the thick of it right now. I'm at a crossroads where I it's about my love life. Like it's just, it sucks right now. I'm in the heart of something I can't get over. I got to let go. And it's like ultimately devastating soul. So I wanted to have a nice happy ending, but maybe the happy ending is just like the J-Lo story. It's like I finally found the love inside of me, and yeah, I
Yeah.
guess the fairy tale. I still believe in the fairy tale, so I'm gonna have yeah. So basically, just how I overcame everything in my life,
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
help inspire others not to be ashamed to accept yourself, love yourself where you are, because I beat the living crap out of myself. They say
Good at
people
that.
have
Can't
been
wait.
abused, yeah, abuse others. No, I abuse myself. And you wouldn't know it because you look at me on the outside. Oh, she's so great. She has everything going for her. She's this and that. But yeah,
Yeah, that worthiness thing creeps up
yeah,
a lot. I deal with that a lot with clients. And I mean, I deal with it myself too, right? Like,
yeah,
because we've all had experiences that do that. So I'm looking forward to seeing
yeah.
that one. So fantastic. Well,
Thanks.
Dawn, I've asked how people can get in touch with you. I want to ask my final two questions that I
Okay.
typically do. And one of those is when you think back to other than manifest and invest
Mhm.
by yourself, what is a book that really, and I would say maybe different than The Power of Zero too, because you mentioned that
Yeah.
one, because I always like to leave tidbits for people to go out and learn more. What would you say is a book that changed something for you or that was impactful?
Let's see. Well, everybody loves The Secret, so that book, but then also another book called, I think it was called Attached. So I learned about the different
Uh,
attachment styles.
mhm.
So that was very eye-opening. So I was like, oh, that's very interesting. So once you're aware, you could actually kind of shift it. And it's funny how when you're in certain situations, you act secure, but then you meet people and they just trigger your anxious or people avoiding. I'm the anxious one. That style.
Yeah,
But yeah, that
yeah.
was a great book. I don't remember the author, but I know it was
It's a good
attached. It
book.
has
I
a
don't
little
remember.
magnet on it
Yeah.
on the cover.
Yeah, it's a great one. I've got it up on my bookshelf. So, yeah, absolutely. Okay, perfect. And then if we were to open up whatever streaming platform you use for music, what would be your most played song or your life anthem? And I know you're excited.
Oh, it would be Goddess by me. So on Spotify, Amazon, go type Dawn Santoriello and then play Goddess.
Okay.
Through this whole breakup, I've channeled my inner Taylor Swift. I write all these songs. So now I have another album I'm working on too. I'm going to put that out there. I got 7 new songs. Yeah. So I'll probably release that
Fantastic.
soon. Yeah.
Okay, well,
It's
I'm going
not
to go
my
out.
voice. They're just my lyrics. And
Yeah.
I wish I could sing.
I love that. I love that. Well, Dawn, thank you so much for spending time with us today. And again, if
You're
you want to get in
welcome.
touch with Dawn, look at the show notes for her website and her email address and reach out to her. For those of you that are members of the Build Her group, I'm going to start bringing in some experts. And so you'll see Dawn in here before the end of the year as an open Q&A, sharing what she knows and answering any questions that you have. But with that, folks, it's a wrap. And thanks so much. If this episode resonated with you and you think of other people that might benefit from it, please share it with them because a rising tide rises all boats. And Dawn and I know both feel that way. And it's about sharing and helping other people. So go out
Thank
and
you
be
so
the
much, Debbie.
manifest.
I love this. And thank you, the audience and people who are part of her group. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And everybody go out and buy Manifest and Invest.
Yes,
It's a good one.
yes.
Okay.
All
See you,
right.
everyone.
Bye.
That's a wrap for this conversation. I'm so glad you've joined us. Remember to subscribe to the podcast so you can catch all of our future episodes and visit us at thelituplife.com for details on how you can become part of the Lit Up Life community. A quick shout out to my friend Jackie Wilson and her friends, the creators of our amazing theme music. Thanks so much for allowing us to share this perfect song with our listeners. Looking forward to having you listen in to our next episode.